All right, I'm creating this video and I'm gonna talk to you guys as if I was talking to a best friend of mine that, let's say, just was unhappy and wanted to become a better version of themselves. Because ultimately, if you are not extremely happy, it is a failure if a year from today you are the exact same person in the exact same space. That is a failure. You should be progressing in your life towards something. Again, unless you are just peak happiness. And in that case, then you probably don't need to watch the rest of this video. But for most people out there, 99% of people out there, I'm gonna basically break down exactly how you can become a better version of yourself and over time reach actual happiness and reach basically progress and achievement and fulfillment in your life. Because a lot of the times it's really because we overcomplicate things. I'm going to break this down for you very simple. We're going to be tackling three main areas in your life. The first one is going to be physical. Second one, I'll dive into it. Physical is the first one. The second one is going to be spiritual, and the third one is going to be financial. And I'm going to make it really simple so that there are no excuses that this time next year you should be in a better situation or a better version of yourself. And it doesn't have to be exceptional. You don't have to be, all of a sudden a fitness model next year. But there should be incremental baby steps towards your end goal. Okay, so let's dive in. First thing you're going to do after this video is you're going to write down 3 goals. Do it on a piece of paper, a journal, do it in your phone, do it in a laptop, doesn't matter. But you're going to write down 3 goals. The first goal is going to be, what do you want to look like physically? What type of shape do you want to be in? That is personal. It doesn't matter what you want. Maybe you want to lose weight, maybe you want to gain weight, maybe you just want to maintain, but you want to make sure you have good health, heart health. I don't know. Maybe you want to run more. What physical goal do you have? Write that down. 2, write down a spiritual goal. So for this, it means, where do you want to improve? Maybe you want to work on your self-confidence. Maybe you want to be taken more seriously. Maybe you want to stop comparing yourself to others. Write down what your goal is spiritually. And then third is financial. For this, I typically like to break down, how much money do you want to make per month? That is the simplest way for me to break stuff down, because that's how we live life, right? Usually bills, mortgage, car payments, phone bills, it's month to month. So that's how my mind works. All right. So now I'm going to break it down very simple so that we can achieve progress towards these goals. What we're going to do is we're going to work towards these goals. We're going to do one thing. Every single day, we're going to do one thing that works on all 3 of these things. What do I mean by that? Let's start with the first one, physical. You are going to do one thing every day that works towards that physical goal. What does that mean? That doesn't mean you have to go out and run a marathon every day, but one thing. Again, it's all about baby steps, but remaining consistent. So it's non-negotiable. So that could be diet. If you are eating poorly, by that I mean processed foods, shit that's made in a lab, fast food, soda, if that's all you're eating, one of the things that you should be doing every day, starting tomorrow or starting today even, is cutting that out. Try focusing on whole foods. I'm not here to push a particular diet. I'm not saying you should be doing this or this and you don't need to count. I'm not saying count your calories. I'm saying you just need to work every day towards having a better diet and doing something physical. So for some people, that is simply just walk more. Start just tracking your steps, or do it by time. Walk for 30 minutes a day. If you're not doing any physical activity, every day, starting tomorrow, you need to be doing something physical. And again, this isn't a lot to ask. Go and start by walking 10 minutes tomorrow. Then do that for a week, then make it 15 minutes. It can be baby steps. For others of you, maybe it's a little more. Maybe it's start resistance training. Start actually lifting weights, tracking. But you need to work towards something that is going to help you achieve your physical goal. So this is kind of a two-parter, but I think it includes diet and it includes fitness. Again, this is simple. Don't overcomplicate it, but do something every day that strives towards this. And over time, a year from today, if you actually are doing something every day, your diet a year from today should be pretty fucking clean, or at least a lot cleaner than it is today. And your fitness, a year from today, if you are compounding and progressively, you should be in a lot better shape a year from today than you are, or at least a lot closer to what your goal is. It might take a couple years to get there, but that's fine. But you're working towards that every day. That is part one. Part two is spiritual. This is a bit more tricky, but how I work on spiritual improvements, personally, I journal. Journaling is like my number one go-to thing. I wake up every morning and I write down 3 things I am grateful for, and I also write down 3 affirmations. What is an affirmation? Basically, I think about who I want to be, and I write down I am that person. 3 different things. I am, and I write down what I will be when it comes to YouTube. I write down how many people I want to impact. I write down how I am going to be healthy. All of these things, write down I am. So where do you want to be in life? Who do you want to be? You visualize that and you write that down. Write 3 different things down every single day. That's what I do, and I recommend you do it. And 3 things you're grateful for, because that just helps your whole mindset. It helps everything. And this is one of those things where, like, I know a lot of people are into manifestation, and I'm not saying you need to get big into that, but just do this. Do it mindlessly. Do it on your phone. Just do it mindlessly, and I promise you over time, it will improve your internal. It will improve your spirit. You might not see it now, and it might take months, it might take years, but over time you will start noticing things, and other people might start noticing it before even you do. I also do other things like I do personally meditate, or I try to, and everyone can meditate in different ways. I personally like meditating with podcasts. I meditate in the shower. I don't think there's a right or wrong way, right? I listen to a lot of audiobooks, and even when I'm at the gym, when I'm in a car, I'm rarely listening to music nowadays. It's usually something that is helping my spirit or my knowledge. I watch a lot of stuff on YouTube that is around self-improvement and self-help. This is just stuff that I like, that feeds my kind of internal, it feeds my soul, really. It fuels me. But this is all something I do every day. So did I do something that worked on my physical? Yes, I ate clean and I went to the gym, or I walked, whatever. I also wrote in my journal, and I listened to a podcast. And you don't need to do multiple things in these areas, as long as you do one in each area every day. But I'm already done with 2. And both of those can be done literally by 9 a.m. in the morning, right? Well, eating healthy should be kind of a thought-provoking thing all day. But anyways, lastly, financial. Most people, I don't want to say everyone has a job, because I know a lot of people are struggling right now. Layoffs are crazy. Some people aren't even fortunate enough to have a job. If you don't have a job, obviously you should be working every day to try to get a job. What does that look like? Resume, applying, reaching out to people, hitting people up, doing everything you can to get there. But let's say you have a job. You have to do more than just work your 9 to 5. If you want to achieve, remember that goal that you wrote down, if you want to achieve that goal, how much you want to make per month, you can't get there just doing the same thing you're doing today, every day, and expect to get there. Unless there's exceptions, right? If you're making 5 times what your monthly expenses are, right? Like if you're making 10 grand a month and you only have to spend 2K a month to live, okay, sure. Then you have 8K to invest and save. That'll probably get you to a pretty solid life in 20 years. Most people aren't living like that. Most of us are living paycheck to paycheck. And most of us are not thinking about how can we get out of the rat race, which in my mind, the rat race is you work a 9 to 5 until you're 65. You're putting away for 401k, you're putting away for retirement, whatever. And then you retire at 65, and then you're 65. It's like, cool. Like I don't want to talk down on people that are 65 and up, but I don't want you to live a life in which you're living for that time, for the time from 65 to 90 or 65 to 100. That shouldn't be peak life. Peak life should be up until that point or way earlier. And so how do you get there? You have to start building on things on the side, working on investments, doing something outside your 9 to 5. You have to. And I know it's hard, and I know we have kids and relationships and friends, but you have to start using your time. Like this is probably the hardest of them, but you have to work on this every day. But what does this mean? This doesn't mean you have to build a company every day. This doesn't mean you have to, read a financial book every day. But what it means is you have to do something small, incremental that works towards that. So for me, for example, I'm working on this channel. That is one thing. This eventually, I'm not monetized yet on this specific channel, The Art of Ron, but eventually I will be, right? And eventually that'll be some sort of income. I'm also working on the Reaction Channel Academy, which is a consulting coaching business that I have, and I'm going to be launching courses next year. On top of that, I actually invest in ETFs and I invest in crypto, Bitcoin. I'm making they're gambles. This isn't advice. I'm not telling you to go do this, but I'm doing these things with the thought that in the future, the ROI on what I'm, investing is going to be big. So all of these things, and then I'm also trying to work on saving and budgeting and doing all the things that most people do in a 9 to 5. All of these things I know will get me to financial freedom. So these 3 things, again, let's simplify it. Do something physical every day. Doesn't have to be go to the gym and work out super hard. Walk, eat healthy, eat whole foods, eat some fruit, cut out fast food, something small every day. And every day it's going to get better. 2, spiritual. Write in a journal, listen to a podcast. Technically, by watching this video, I would argue that this is something towards self-improvement, but why not go get a journal? I recommend go get a journal and do those things that I said. Financial. With this, start thinking about something. And then tomorrow, start working on it. What does that look like? Maybe you're doing research. Maybe you want to start a YouTube channel. Hit me up. Check out Reaction Channel Academy. This isn't a plug, but maybe you want to start a podcast. Maybe you want to start sewing. Start thinking about something and spend some time towards that. Or maybe you want to start reading, looking into investments. Where can you utilize your money? Figuring that out and doing one small thing every day towards that. And again, the results aren't going to be here next week, next month. Could be years from now. But if you do one thing in each of these categories every single day, compounded over time, I am promising and guaranteeing you a year from now, you will be a better version of who you are today. A year from then, you'll be even better then. So imagine 5 years from now, imagine the person you will be. And this isn't hard. This is just a matter of literally having it broke down in simple terms, write it on a board, put it on your mirror, put these 3 things on your mirror and just check them off when you go to bed. And I promise you, you're going to start feeling happy. You're going to start feeling like you're progressing in life. And as humans, I promise you, that brings the most fulfillment, is feeling like we are progressing in life. That is my rant. I know I felt like this was kind of aggressive. I'm yelling at you. But it kind of pisses me off how some people make excuses why they can't do one thing in each of these categories. And if you were listening to me and one of those, you're like, I can't do that or that's stupid. I'm sorry to say, but that's an excuse. I promise you, you can do one thing that works on one of these 3 areas every single day, and you will thank me for it a year from now. And every night when you lay your head down on that pillow, or maybe you don't use a pillow, I'm not judging you, you will feel good about yourself. That is it. I hope this is helpful. I got a lot of good feedback about the last video, and I'm really pumped to honestly just share what I do every day. I have reached a point in my life that I'm just like so blessed. It's hard. I don't want to come off like I'm bragging, and I don't want to oversell it to feel like I'm being salesy, but I've created a life that I'm so happy with. And it's like, all right, I need to use this channel to share that, to share step by step. How did I get here? What did I do? where did I come from? What are the businesses? So I'll talk about, I'm going to get more in depth with like, how did I get to the YouTube side of things? I'll start talking about my daily habits and how I get my mindset right. How did I build my confidence? All these things, that's what I want to work on with this channel. And I'm pumped. And because at the end of the day, I know I'm impacting some of you. I got a lot of messages. A lot of you guys were like, yo, Ron, that video really changed my life, or that video really opened my eyes. That is all that matters to me. And I know I'm going to continue to do this and impact you guys. And it's just, it's inspiring, and I'm so pumped. And I know it's just going to come full circle in the end, which is a win-win, right? And so I love this. I hope this hit home for you guys. Hit me up, write in the comments, hit my DMs. If you have questions about these, on how to execute these things, hit me up. Otherwise, get started. Get started today. Worst case, get started tomorrow, but there's no excuses. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.